Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Navigating City Contracting Opportunities with Los Angeles City Council member Adrin Nazarian. We are very excited to share some useful information with you all today, and we hope to inspire you. We've got some excellent presenters, and our intention is, of course, to support you in your pursuit of public contracting opportunities in the city of Los Angeles. So I will just quickly click over to the agenda slide here. My name is Christy Villegas. I'm the Outreach Director for 3D Networks. I will be leading us through today. The workshop is part of the CDAP, which is short for the Contractor Development and Bonding Program. And we are, of course, looking forward to sharing with you about this regionally sponsored program and its many useful no-cost offerings. But we are also excited to welcome representatives from LA City Public Works, LADWP, the Port of Los Angeles, and LAWA to share about upcoming opportunities, certifications, dedicated support, and the best way to pursue opportunities in our city and the robust opportunities that we have to offer. So as we move through the workshop, we will have a dedicated account manager managing the chat. So if you have any questions, you can put them in using the Zoom Q&A function. And Johanna Lee Penn, a CDM on our team, will be answering those live time. And if you have any questions for any of our presenters today, you can hold on to those until the end, and we will have some time for Q&A. But first, before we get into the presentations, it's my pleasure to introduce Councilmember Adrin Nazarian. We are so happy and honored to have Councilmember Nazarian with us today to support our small and diverse contractors. Councilmember Nazarian represents City Council District 2 in the San Fernando Valley. As you may know, before joining the City Council, he's served over a decade in the California State Assembly, and he truly has a rich background of public service supporting the Valley communities and the City of Los Angeles as a whole. Notably, throughout his time in public service, he's been a strong advocate for economic growth, equity, and infrastructure that supports working families. He's worked closely with small and diverse businesses, helping to expand access to city contracting opportunities and strengthen the Valley's local economy. So his focus really aligns with the goals of this program, and we're grateful to have him with us today, and we look forward to his remarks. Welcome, Councilmember Nazarian.
Thank you so much, Christy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adrin Nazarian, council member for the 2nd Council District of Los Angeles. Welcome to this virtual outreach workshop, Navigating City Contracting Opportunities. Just a sentence or two about the council district and my work. The district itself stretches from Toluca Lake and Studio City to the south, all the way north to Sun Valley. To the west, Van Nuys, all the way east to the North Hollywood Arts District. It's home to about 260,000 Angelinos and about 100,000 households. I myself grew up in the San Fernando Valley. My family and I fled war-torn Iran in the early 80s and settled here in Los Angeles. I went to school in the Valley, and I earned my degree in economics from UCLA. I worked for multiple elected officials, 5 different elected officials, before being elected to office myself in the state assembly, the state legislature. Spent 10 years in Sacramento, and then after that ran for Los Angeles City Council last year, and here I am before you. So all of these experiences I point out to you, stretching from the time that I was an immigrant child, not speaking the language, to now, to let you know that all of this has deepened my commitment to breaking down barriers and making sure that local businesses and family-run businesses don't get left behind. That's why I'm especially proud to partner with Meriwether and Williams for today's event. And I also want to put a plug in, thank 3D Networks for hosting this event. Thank you. So now just a quick word on the program itself. The Contractor Development and Bonding Program, known as CDABP, is a region-wide initiative that helps small, local and diverse contractors with bonding assistance, contract financing, technical support, training, bid alerts, so you know when to bid, mentorship, networking, and matchmaking with prime contractors. This is especially for important for small contractors. And it does all of these things at no cost. Since 2005, when CDABP has helped thousands of contractors to bid on contracts and apply for performance bonds and financing. This includes collateral support and cash flow assistance as well. Together, these support systems have translated into hundreds of millions in bid value and supported a more inclusive local economy. Right now, the city of Los Angeles is making historic investments, as you know, in critical infrastructure and services, whether in preparation for the World Cup, the Olympics coming in 2028. So this is a perfect time for businesses all over the city, but especially in District 2, to step forward. By empowering community-based contractors to compete, we enrich our neighborhoods, create local jobs, and ensure that our region's investments reflect the people who live here. The CDABP team is ready to guide you through these steps, from understanding bid requirements to getting surety bonds and financing and connecting with prime contractors. I hope you'll actively engage today with today's workshop, ask questions, and take full advantage of the resources that are going to be provided here. Together, we can unlock new opportunities, elevate local businesses, and build a more equitable and prosperous future for our district. My office is ready and willing to support you. I also want to thank some city family members, the LA Port, LAWA, World Airports, LA World Airports, Public Works of Los Angeles, as well as, I'm forgetting one, I knew I was going to forget one, DWP, of course, the folks that allow us to have light and electricity and power and water. So with that, I also want to thank the wonderful work that my staff does to make sure that my district and programs like this are made available. So now I hand it back to our host to get this underway. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Councilmember, for getting us off to a wonderful start. So with that, I think that we can get right into it, and I will turn it over to Rosa Osorio. She's the Assistant Program Director for the Small Business Contractor Support Program that has brought us all here today, the Regional Contractor Development and Bonding Program, CDAP. Rosa is here to share with you about the many no-cost offerings, many of which the council member touched on, which was wonderful. And with that, welcome, Rosa.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm having a little bit of issues. You can hear me, right? I'm the Assistant Program Manager with the Contractor by Meriwether & Williamson.
Rosa, you're breaking up quite a bit. Try turning your camera off and let's see if that helps.
Great.
Just give that a try.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having internet issues since yesterday. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, again, Rosa Osorio, Assistant Program Manager with the Contractor Development and Bonding Program, which is administered by Meriwether & Williams Insurance, a Hub International company. Next slide, please. So a little bit about Meriwether & Williams. So we are a full insurance, property and casualty, employee benefit, retirement, personal lines, and insurance brokerage firm. Like I mentioned recently, we were acquired by Hub International, which is the 5th largest international insurance company in the world. So we have expanded. However, We continue to build on the legacy and expanding to reach out to small businesses and providing this, the same type of service or even better service to our small and local contractors. We also do align risk management, specialty programs, safety and loss prevention. But what we are really known for is our bonding, technical assistance and contract financing programs, which are in San Francisco, Los Angeles region, Alameda County, Fresno, and Charlotte, North Carolina. We have been able to assist contractors or small and emerging contractors obtaining bonds on over $1 billion in bonding transactions with a loss ratio of 0.1%, which in the surety industry, the loss ratio is about 20 to 25%. So we, with our contract monitoring and all the technical assistance that we provide contractors, we've been able to maintain a very, very loss ratio when it comes to bonding on all these public opportunities. We also have been able to provide over $6 million in contract-based financing. Next slide, please. So our program purpose and mission. So we are here to reduce the barriers of bonding capacity, enabling greater and successful participation of small, local, minority, women, and disabled veteran-owned businesses in public contract opportunities. And the way we do that is by what we call the 4 pillars of contractor development, which consist of the assessment and technical assistance, our bonding, contract, finance, and project assistance, education, training, and contract support, and our prime contractor partnership. Next slide, please. So the basics of bonding. So what is bonding? So bonding is a three-party agreement that guarantees a completion of a contract. It is one to protect another party, which meaning it protects the project owner or the obligee. You cannot purchase like insurance. So unlike insurance where you make your monthly payment and they expect you to have a loss, and once there's a loss or an accident, the insurance company pays out and you just continue to pay your monthly premium. In bonding, you have to qualify for it. They expect no losses. And if there is a loss, you are expected to pay back everything that the surety pays out. And so therefore, we always encourage that, there's no losses, because once you have a loss or a claim on a bond, it is really hard to obtain a new bond going forward. Like I said, you must qualify for it. So the sureties do an intense underwriting. They have a criteria that you need to meet. They look at your credit. They look at your financial statements, your tax returns. They look at everything in your business to make sure that you are qualified to complete this project. Like I said, unlike insurance, there's no losses expected, and you must indemnify for it. So you have to sign an indemnity agreement that says that if there is a loss, the sureties are able to come after your personal assets. So again, it is always, best that you don't have a loss, that you complete the project successfully. There's always going to be issues, but it's how you resolve the issues. So that's what programs like ours are here to help you throughout the life of a project to make sure that there's no losses. So why do I need a bond? So a bond is mandated by law on public works projects. On the federal level, we have the Hurt Act of 1894 and the Miller Act of 1935 that requires payment and performance bonds on public works contracts up to $100,000. On the local and state level, we have the Little Millers Act, which varies by state. And therefore, we recommend that when you're bidding on a project, you check to see if there's a payment and performance bond requirement. Like I said, the amounts vary. Sometimes they may require bonding up, $25,000 and above, or $100,000 and above, or sometimes even more than that. So you have to check to see what the requirements are and if there is a bond requirement, because a lot of times what we see is contractors are bidding on a contract and they don't realize that there's a bonding requirement. Now you're awarded a contract or you're the low bidder, and now you need to provide these bonds. And what if you can't qualify? So it's always best that you qualify ahead of time. You can get a bondability letter so the sureties can do the underwriting ahead of time, pre-qualify you for a bond line, and that will help you to see how big of a project can you qualify for, or can you bid on, because you've already been pre-approved. So it is always recommended that you do this ahead of time and not when it's time to bid, because underwriting does take some time. They do require a lot of documentation, and it's not an overnight process. So if you're trying to bid on a project tomorrow and there's a bonding requirement, you may not be able to get the bonds. So again, we always encourage that you get this ahead of time. Bonding ensures owners receive finished product at a negotiated price, which means that on the contract, on the performance bond, you are expected to finish the contract according to you're expected to finish the project according to the contract. If there's an issue and you're unable to, then there will be a claim placed on your performance bond, and you don't want that, because then the surety has to go and find a new contractor to complete the project, and they're going to come after you to pay the difference, because this new contractor's price may be higher than what you originally bid for. So then the project owner has to pay more for this contract. So then you're liable for that. The payment bond subcontractors and suppliers will be paid. So if you don't pay your suppliers and your subcontractors, they can come after your payment bond and place a claim on that. Bonding also acts as a pre-qualification instrument for contractors' ability to perform the work. So if you're trying to pre-qualify with the bonds, but wow, and that you're good to perform on their projects. As I said, it's always best that you get a bond line before you need how big of a project you can
Okay, Rosa,
bid on. Next slide, please.
Rosa, we're having some technical issues. So maybe with your sound. So let's skip ahead to Janet's portion and then come back to yours, and we'll see if things have cleared up. Does that work for you, Janet?
Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, Janet's going to share. Typically, Rosa's presentation will transition into Janet sharing about this particular part of the program. So Janet Ramirez, I will hand it over to you.
Thank you, Christy. So one of the services that we do provide along with technical assistance is financial support. So we have our program, which is the Contract Financing Assistance Program, also known as CFAP. So it is one of our components to our program. This really helps small emerging contractors and businesses who have been awarded a contract with the City of LA or one of our sponsors to make sure that they have the necessary funds and cash flow to complete their project. So a few requirements and just a few details of how the program works. You must be enrolled in our contract development and bonding program. You must have some type of certification with the agency, obviously, that you've received the contract with. We do encourage you to get pre-qualified before you start bidding. Like Rosa said, just like the bonding process, it does take time. We do ask for you to get pre-qualified, and what that means is basically collecting information based off of your organization and background information, financial information, and lastly, it would be the project information. Given that you haven't been awarded the contract yet, we're able to start the underwriting process based off of your historic performance and your financial information that you do provide. Currently, we do offer support for construction contracts. If there are any professional services contracts that you may be awarded, we will consider that as well. Once you are awarded the contract, it would be funds allocated specifically for that project. So once you have your contract, we do consider that as collateral. We don't necessarily underwrite based off of your financials, but just to ensure that your contract value versus the debt ratio to the loan value is going to be appropriate for you. Again, the contract is used as collateral, and what we mean is once the progress payments come in, we start using those funds for to cash flow the project along with the loan funds that you are approved for. So currently, the loan amount or the max amount of loan funds that you are able to get approved for one project at a time would be $250,000. The money is not released all up front. So even if you are awarded or approved for the $250,000 loan, we can release those funds in tranches. So the interest is only accumulating on the funds that are released. With that, we do have a third-party funds administration that is tied to the loan. So this is required, especially if it's your first time around obtaining a loan. We want to make sure that the funds are being allocated appropriately for the project. The loan funds could only be used for payroll, any materials, vendors that you may be able to pay, and any equipment that is specifically for the project. And it can only be rented or leased. So the third-party funds administrator, you can view it as kind of like a back office support as well. So you would submit these draw requests and they would pay everything on your behalf. Again, this just ensures us that we're using the funds appropriately, and our goal is for you to complete the project having the correct cash flow. So like I mentioned, once you have been approved for the loan, we have those funds in, your progress payments will need to be submitted into the trust account. So you would need to open a secondary bank account where we would house the funds of the loan and your progress payments. With those funds, first we would pay any of your bills. Once we've paid your payroll, your vendors, any material purchases that you may need for the project, depending on how your loan is structured, if it's just interest only, then we'll go ahead and make those interest payments to the lender or to the CDABP. And then any overhead or profit that is allocated for that month would be released to you. Currently, the interest rates are, they vary right now depending on what the prime market is. Currently, if you do have any type of green aspects, so any sustainability lead project components to your projects, the interest rate can go as low as 5 to 7%. If there's no green sustainability to your project, it's market rate, so it's typically around 9.5. Again, it varies based off of the CDFI that we partner with. There is a 1% origination fee that the lender has on top of that. With all of that being said, all of these fees will be taken out from the loan fund. So nothing is coming out of your personal pocket. Everything would be allocated with this. So what we do is we make sure that we have all of the information. We'll create a cash flow projection. So this would basically break out all of your costs. We'll include the loan amount on there, so it'll help us make sure we're not over asking or under borrowing, to make sure what the gap would be in your cash flow. So once the loan is paid off, it does get reported to the credit bureau. So it does, improve your credit score as a business. And ultimately, our goal is for all of our contractors to become commercially bankable. So once you have 1 or 2 loans under your belt, we'll definitely go ahead and make an introduction to some type of either a CDFI that's able to kind of provide you with higher limits or line of credits, or just any other commercial banks, such as like a Chase or any institution that you would be interested in having a line of credit with, we're also very happy to kind of give them a little background of what you've accomplished with the program. So if this is something that you are interested in, or if you're not yet enrolled in the program, please make sure to reach out to us and we can go ahead and provide additional information. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Okay, so due to technical issues, you are going to have to listen to me a little bit more, and I will take us through the second half of Rosa's CDAP program overview presentation. So let's just go back to the beginning of that. Okay, so she covered sort of the reasoning behind bonding. And so these are some of the services that the program offers. As she mentioned, obtaining or increasing bond capacity, contractor development, capacity building, and technical services. So we'll talk about the technical services in the next slides. But as far as contractor development, the program offers many workshops and academies to sort of address many of the issues and questions that come up for contractors. So bidding and estimating, bonding 101, doing business with LAWA, and all of these workshops are at no cost to the enrollee. So that's an important thing to note. Next is the CFAP program, which Janet just expertly presented for us. So the contract-based financing program, that is the newest addition to CDAP, which we're very proud of. You'll have a dedicated account manager. This is critical. So we have several account managers. Once you enroll in the program, you will truly have a dedicated person that you'll get to know that will support you through your bidding processes. Agency collateral support. So that's actually something that gets mentioned, I think, in the following slide about your one pager. So I'll just hold off on that for now. Accounting cost subsidy. So this is interesting. With some RFPs, you do need to provide some detailed financial statements, and the program is able to offer a $3,200 one-time subsidy for CPA prepared financial statements, which is wonderful. And then also weekly bid opportunities, project and event alert emails. We have a lot. I believe that I'm going to cover this in the next slide. Sorry. But we do, once we know your specialty, you've got your CDM, we will search all the portals every day, and we'll send you directly the new opportunities that could work for you. And then once you choose that you would like to pursue them, or you've got questions about them, then you start the cycle and you can reach out to your CDM. So for technical assistance, assessment and work plan, contractor profile, that was what I was mentioning. So many times you've just got a business card, and the program really makes an effort to create a one-pager contractor profile for you. So when you go and meet primes, and it says down here at the bottom, prime partnerships, we also have those relationships with prime contractors. So when you go and meet them, you have a little bit more that you can provide them with, more details than simply a business card. So that's a great thing to have on hand. Certifications are key. You'll hear about that from our presenters later on in the presentation. And sometimes you do need a little bit of extra support, sort of navigating how to pursue those. Bid document reviews when you are going to apply for an RFP. Your CDM will review your prepared proposal. They won't offer you advice on your cost, your bidding cost, but they can go over everything else with you and really help to make sure that you've answered all the questions and completed it appropriately. Contract completion support. So just that whole follow through support, monthly workshops and coaching. So that's what I was mentioning. Oh, and then the construction training academy. Sorry, I didn't know this is on this slide. So that's what I sort of mentioned before. There are several workshops that you can take advantage of, in person and virtual, and academies. Some are one-off, some are weekly for 3 weeks. And it just depends on what is most pertinent to you, what information you need, what kind of support you need. And then prime partnerships I already mentioned. contractor development bid document review. Okay, so we attend all of the pre-bid meetings, and actually you may see us at the pre-bid meetings presenting about the program. So that's great because we're aware of what's going on with these RFPs and what you might be bidding on. And then, as I sort of mentioned earlier, you can get one-on-one bid document review, reviewing plans and specs, assistance with identifying risks, assistance with identifying required bid documents. As I'm sure you know, when you apply for a public contract, there are a million forms and a million questions that you need to answer. And sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of support with that as you're putting it together, and then to have that final bid document review. So also post-bid debrief. So if you apply for a contract, you're not awarded that contract. I know that oftentimes the awarding agency offers a debrief, but we also offer a debrief. So you can go over what it was that you presented, how you might like to refine this in the future. And then contract review. If you're awarded a contract, we'll help you review that contract. Okay. Contract development, contract completion support. So once you're awarded a contract, you still get that support, which is wonderful. So project kickoff, job start checklist. We've just been through this several times, numerous times with our contractors. And so it's nice to be able to anticipate what kind of support you're going to need and provide it. So contract and principal status reports, you get monthly check-ins, billings and payments. Once the contract is underway, there's still a lot of things that need to be done for compliance. You're going to need to, that's where the CFAP program comes in once you've been awarded a contract. Construction schedule, site visit reports, change order log reviews. We all know that change orders are a big thing. And we also have, I believe we have workshops on change orders as well. And then that was Janet's portion on the CFAP addition to the program. And then here is the contact information for the program. And I believe with that, I will go back into my hosting mode and I will tell you, and thank you, Rosa and Janet, so much. But I'll tell you as a quick reminder, after the workshop, we will provide you with the full slide deck. And of course, with information about how to enroll in the program for those of you that are not yet enrolled. So before we move on to hearing from our other presenters, we have a brief poll question, which, just give me one moment, I will pop up. Okay, great. So I'll give you about 30, this is quite a long one, so I'll give you about a minute to answer the poll question. Okay. Thank you all so much for participating. So next up, now we will get to some of our guest presenters. Next up, we have Hannah Ali, who is here on behalf of the Department of Public Works, Bureau of Contract Administration, to speak about the many beneficial certifications, which we mentioned earlier, and how to apply for and take advantage of these in your pursuit of public contracts with Public Works. Welcome, Hannah.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hannah Ali, and I'm a management analyst with the Department of Public Works' Bureau of Contract Administration. So I'm representing the Office of Contract Compliance, which oversees the certification program. Certifications can assist in boosting your profile when it comes to bidding opportunities. So I'll be giving an overview of the certification programs the city offers and or recognizes, which fall under a few different categories. Next slide. The first category of certifications are ownership-based. So we have the MBE, the Minority Business Enterprise, the WBE, the Women Business Enterprise, the DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, the ACDBE, the Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, as well as the DVBE, the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise offered through LAWA. So it's important to note that the last two are with one of our proprietary departments, the airport. So for this category, the certification holder must belong to one of the presumed disadvantaged groups for which that certification is named, as well as to possess the licenses and or the credentials that are required to conduct the firm's business. So owners must have at least 51% of ownership and control. For example, a spouse cannot apply for the certification if they don't hold the credentials specific to running that business. And it's also important to note that these certifications are only available for independent, for-profit businesses only, so nonprofits. These do not apply to. Next slide, please. The second category of certifications are location-based. So we have the LBE, the Local Business Enterprise, the LSP, the Local Small Business, and the LTE, the Local Transitional Employer. So these to be considered for an LSP, the previous year's gross income cannot exceed 5 million. And just note that the businesses have to be headquartered in Los Angeles County for any of these certifications. Next slide, please. Okay. And the last category of certifications are recognition-based. Recognition-based certifications are administered by other agencies that the City of LA recognizes. So those certifications include the SBE proprietary, which are used by DWP, the airport, and the port. The Small Business Enterprise SBE LA, which is certified by Cal DGS. Emerging Business Enterprise EBE. DVBE, the Disabled Veteran Enterprise, and the LGBTE, which are also administered by the National LGBTE Chamber of Commerce. So if you hold one of these certifications from any of these agencies, you must notify our team for it to be applied to your RAMP account so that we have it on file. Next slide, please. How to apply. So the applications in the first column on the left must be printed and submitted by mail with required documentation. So that'll include the MBE, the WBE, and the SBE proprietary. And all the other applications are online and are available via RAMP LA. So the DBE, the ACDBE, LBE, LSB, LTE, DVBE LAWA, and LBE Harbor. Next slide, please. So for more information, you may visit our website that's listed. And questions may be directed to our email listed as well, bca.certifications@lacity.org. And if you're interested in learning more about certifications and how to be ready for upcoming contracting opportunities, especially those that are related to the Olympics in 2028 and other large-scale events, we invite you to apply to our Small Business Academy Fall Intensive. It's actually coming up next month, and you can apply using the link that's on our website, accessingla.com. And applications are due by September 30th, so you have 5 more days. And that concludes BCA's portion of today's presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you so much, Hannah. It's wonderful that the city offers so many diverse certifications. And as a reminder, the program can help you in your pursuit of those. So from there, we have up next, Jason Kim from the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, Supplier Diversity Office, here to share about doing business with LADWP and what those opportunities look like and how to pursue those. Welcome, Jason.
Hi, thank you. Again, as mentioned, my name is Jason Kim. I'm from the Supplier Diversity and Sustainability Office here at LADWP, and I'm going to just be briefly going over how to do business with our department. Next slide, please. Just some quick facts about LADWP. We're the largest municipal water and power utility in the nation. We serve 4 million residents and businesses in Los Angeles. And last year, in just contracts for goods and services, we awarded over $1 billion worth of contracts. So lots of potential opportunity here at the department. Next slide, please. Mainly what we buy, we buy a lot of materials and equipment because that's just, the nature of what we buy. There are some public works / construction contracts that we are also in the business of purchasing. Some professional services here and there, and other miscellaneous services. But what you'll mostly be seeing is probably a lot of materials and equipment contracts, and maybe less so the construction professional services. But that's kind of the makeup of what we buy. Next slide, please. As a public agency, we buy using competitive solicitation methods, meaning everything is bid out publicly. Those two methods go out by way of invitation for bid, or IFB, which typically encapsulates all the materials and equipment purchases, as well as the public work construction contracts. Those are all typically IFBs. RFPs, request for proposals, that usually encapsulates the services and other, just services and other miscellaneous services. So if you're looking for a specific thing, you want to look out for which method that we're going to release these contracts in. Next slide, please. How to participate in LADWP contracts, as my colleagues will already, or maybe have already mentioned and will mention, the city, the portal for contracting to engage in business with just the entire city itself, including our department, you're going to want to sign up, go visit and sign up on rampla.org. This is the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. All of our opportunities, as well as mentioned, the city's opportunities will be published on RAMP. So it's to your advantage that you go sign up, create a profile, enter your NAICS codes. There's a short approval process, but once you sign up for this, again, all current and I believe some past opportunities are published in RAMP LA. So make sure you sign up in RAMP LA. You can use that QR code right now if you want to visit rampla.org. And also, it's a little hard to see here, but basically we have our own procurement system called ERSP. It's ersp.ladwp.com. And in the same way, you want to sign up for a profile. It's a pretty quick process. Not a lot of information has to be entered, but basically any opportunity, most, if not about 90% of our opportunities will be end up publishing to RAMP, but I believe our smaller dollar opportunities we only publish to ERSP. So make sure you go up and ahead and sign up. A lot of those materials or small equipment purchase type contracts are usually those smaller dollar ones. So you want to make sure and sign up on ERSP as well. Next slide, please. The SBDVB participation program. I want to just quickly go over this program because it has to do with how we as a department are offering opportunities for smaller businesses to engage in our contracts, mostly through subcontracting. So basically, if you have a certification that we recognize, if you want to be safe, you can get one from BCA, the Bureau of Contract Administration, or from the state, DGS, Department of General Services. Those are two that we do accept. But if you are a certified SBDVB firm, for certain contracts, we set aside a certain percentage of that contract where the prime contractor has to utilize an SBDVB certified subcontractor for that work. And so, obviously, there's opportunities here for on some of the bigger contracts that you can engage in our, if you feel like you're too small to provide some of the services or the construction for some of these larger contracts, you can engage as a subcontractor. So this program only applies to most contracts over $150,000 for services, construction, rentals with operators. Again, this contract-specific mandatory participation requirement is set as a percentage of the contract, like I mentioned. And bidders who don't meet the minimum mandatory participation requirement, they're actually deemed non-responsive. So this, we take this seriously. And our overall annual goals for the SB and DVB respectively are 25% and 3% for DVB. So again, we have a lot of opportunities there, even if you're, kind of a smaller business or starting out, that's there for you. Next slide, please. Okay, so opportunity-wise, we publish a newsletter called Supply Line. You can access it through this QR code here, or you can go to supplyline.ladwp.com. Supply Line is a newsletter that we publish quarterly, and unfortunately, we're wrapping up the end of the third quarter here. So the new one's going to be published in, I hope, in the next 1 or 2 weeks. So if you visit right now, some of the information might be a little bit outdated, but basically Supply Line is our newsletter that we publish quarterly to just highlight some of the upcoming opportunities that we're going to be hopefully releasing to bid. So it's split up. If you visit the newsletter, it's split up into the water system, the power system, and the joint system. Our department is split into these three systems, water, power, and everything else between, which is joint. And also each respective system is split into either construction materials. They have subcategories. So if you're looking for something specific, let's say you're in, I don't know, you have a company that deals with pipes, then you probably want to look in the water. If you're looking for miscellaneous services, that's usually under joint. But again, this newsletter we publish every quarter just to give you a heads up on all the contracting opportunities we're going to release soon. You can find little details here, the contract, small description of what the contract is, around how much the budget will be and when it will be released. So this is really helpful. Again, if you're looking for something, this is the place to look. So Supply Line, make sure you check that out. Next slide, please. This just contact information. If you have any questions regarding LADWP contracting, you can either contact us at Supplier Diversity Office at LADWP.com, or that phone number listed there. Or you could also contact our vendor liaison center at purchbids@ladwp.com, or that number listed there. I believe that's my last slide. I'll hand it back over to you.
It is. Thank you so much, Jason. I'll just remind you all, yes, thank you. If you have any questions for Jason, Hannah, or our next two speakers, just stick around till the end and we'll have some dedicated time for Q&A. So with that, we will keep moving along. Next, we have Angela Ragusa, who is here with us from the Port of Los Angeles to speak about the exciting happenings and upcoming projects at the port and how to get involved with those. Welcome, Angela.
Hello, everyone. Get my camera started here. Okay, so you guys can move to the next slide. Like I said, my name is Angela Ragusa. I'm a civil engineer here at the Harbor Department. Thank you for having us today. We have quite a few projects out to bid currently. There are quite a few projects even coming down the pipeline to be advertised. Can you go to the next slide, please? Okay, so the Terminal Island Facilities Demolition Improvements Project, 7 projects currently being prepared to be advertised or already have been advertised. We can go to the next slide. The Terminal Island Facilities Demolition and Improvements Project consists of 5 separate project sites and includes demolition, various steel, wood, and concrete warehouses, building structures, and other miscellaneous items, in addition to lead and asbestos abatement. Work also includes the construction of a storm drain system, grading, paving, electrical, disposal of hazardous waste, and fencing. Subcontracting opportunities also include concrete, asphalt concrete paving, electrical, storm drain, fencing, and hazardous waste cleanup. Project advertised in July of 2025 this year. Currently it says bid opening October 1st, 2025, but today we're actually releasing an addendum to extend it to the 15th. So there is still time to bid on this project and get involved. The next slide is for the Avalon Pedestrian Bridge and Promenade Gateway. This consists of construction of concrete cable supported pedestrian bridge and promenade gateway over existing rail tracks, and development of 12 acres of visitors serving open space with amenities. Work also includes installation of pre-stressed concrete pile foundations, retaining wall, architectural features and finishes, site demolition and removals, grading, surcharge, landscaping, hardscaping, construction of restrooms, lighting, striping, signage, parking lots, and a play area. Approximate construction cost is $69.8 million. It advertised last month, and the bid opening is October 21st, 2025. The next slide is for the berth 49 to 51 Outer Harbor Cruise Terminal. Consists of a new 11 kV amp system, alternative maritime power. For cruise ships at the berth 49 to 51, construction of a new LADWP 34.5 industrial station, new 34.5 kV switchgear, new 18 MVA transformer, new 11 kV amp switchgear, 2 new 11 kV warmth amp outlets, and amp mobile cart management system for cruise ship connections. In addition, the project requires the extension of the LADWP 34 kV circuit through existing LADWP underground, and includes wharf structural amp, landside structural amp support, concrete wharf repairs, hybrid fender backing panel, including steel pipe piles and timber pipe piles, new foam-filled fendering system, new utilities, including water lines and sewer connections, customer requested civil improvements to improve pedestrian and vehicular access, safety and security for the cruise customers, and operations and site removals. In addition, new mooring bollard platforms with supporting piles, and the approximate cost estimate is $55.5 million. The advertised September 9th and currently bid opening is set for October 23rd. Next slide is our port-wide leak detection expansion program, which includes the reconstruction of the existing water backflow assemblies to install smart meters and gateway collectors at the various terminals within the port. Anticipated advertised date is next week or the week after, with bid opening in November of 2025. Next slide is our 2026-2028 site improvement contract, which consists of non-exclusive on-call general maintenance and site improvements throughout the San Pedro, Wilmington, and Terminal Island districts. Work includes, but is not limited to, removal of pavement and other improvements, pipeline, shrub structures, earthwork, construction of fencing, parking barriers and traffic controls, pavements, pavement markings, and other improvements, relocation of substructures and utilities, and site clearing, trenching and backfilling, preparing soil, landscaping, planting, hardscaping, irrigation system, site furnishings, plant establishment, and maintenance. We're hoping to advertise very soon, with opening bids in November. Next slide, told you guys we were busy, is the berths 167, 169 Marine Oil Terminal Engineering and Maintenance Standards, or MOTEM. They at the Shell Oil Terminal, which consists of replacing the current 2 berth structures with a single structure, and demolishing the existing timber wharf and replacing the structure with a new concrete loading platform, construction of access trestle, mooring dolphins, steel catwalks. Other subcontracting opportunities include installation of steel pipe piles, chain link fencing, electrical, and rubber fenders. Approximate construction cost estimate is $10 million, with anticipating advertising in November of 2025. Next slide is the Wilmington Waterfront Park West End restroom and site restoration. Consists of construction of a restroom building with utility connections and shade structures, not limited to replanting of tree groves, irrigation, demolition of existing non-functioning fountain, site repairs, site utility removals, landscaping, and replacement of damaged site furnishings. The construction cost estimate is about $5.5 million, and we are hoping to advertise in November of 2025. The port is committed to small businesses, you can go to the next slide, and recognizes that this significant community resource can contribute to the growth of the Port of Los Angeles and provide economic benefits for the city of Los Angeles. The Port of Los Angeles has set an overall goal of 25% for small business participation in port contracts, including 5% very small business enterprise participation. We are committed to maximizing opportunities for local and regional businesses, as well as encouraging local and regional businesses to locate and operate within the Southern California region. It supports policy to support an increase in local and regional jobs, and the Port Local Business Preference Program aims to benefit the Southern California region by increasing jobs and expenditures within the local and regional private sector. Construction activity at the Port of Los Angeles is often contracted out through competitive bid process, like the ones I just mentioned. And the Port of Los Angeles Bid Management System, the Construction Division Business Opportunity Network, or CDABP, makes bidding documents promptly available to prospective bidders and notifies all parties of bidding opportunities and addendums to bid documents. Any prospective bidders who are interested in obtaining bidding documents must first register with CDABP and learn how to do more information with the links provided here. We also do require registration with RAMP, and that is what we use to also verify certifications for SB, VSB, and all the rest. So thank you for your time today.
Angela, thank you so much. You have a lot of opportunities, 25% to small business. So that's important to note.
And lots of opportunities to do it. So, and this is my contact info. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, we have our last presenter. Last but not least, we have Sophia Cavalli here to talk about the opportunities and the goings on at LAWA. They also have quite a lot going on, I would say. So with that, welcome, Sophia.
Thank you, Christy. And before I begin, I want to extend a big thank you to Meriwether and Williams, as well as Councilmember, and also thank you to all of the presenters. I think today certainly is providing some very valuable information for everyone that's participating today. So as I begin, next slide, I really want to highlight that this is a very exciting time here at the airport. We have so much transformation, excuse me, taking place externally facing, internally, and I'll talk a little bit more about both of those. And top of mind for us here at the airport is really an impactful way and a meaningful way that we can leave a lasting legacy for local businesses, for local workers and the workers to come, and even our youth, which are the future workforce, whether they're going to be a future entrepreneur or a future laborer or skilled worker in one of our local businesses. So with that, the next slide captures what we're doing here as part of the economic impact team. So the impact team is very focused on inclusivity and workforce, embedding that into the capital improvement program. We're monitoring compliance. We're ensuring that prompt payment to small businesses, cash flow is so important that that's happening timely. We're looking to partner with industry. We're helping industry build capacity of local businesses here, measuring all of this economic impact as much as we can. It does go all the way to the board and up to the CEO. So they're monitoring and looking at that on a very consistent basis, and then integrating best practices and tracking those lessons learned along the way. The next slide captures how we are moving forward as part of our $30 billion capital improvement program. LAWA has the industry's largest and most complex capital improvement program. And that really falls under a number of different areas. So our terminal development program, our airport development program, our LAX wayfinding program. That program is very focused on the traveler's experience, and we're making significant headways in that area in preparation for the Olympics. Our landslide access modernization program. I know that a number of you have already been to the airport here over the last couple of years, maybe even most recently, and you're just literally seeing the external transformation that's taking place. And we are very excited that the automated people mover is going to be live. Testing is taking place now, and it will be live next year. Under the airfield and terminal modernization program, we have other things happening. And then lastly, our LAX landscape program. Now, the next slide captures everything that we're working towards to be operational in time for the Olympics in 2028. So these programs and projects are all encapsulated in 3 categories under our terminal, under the landslide lamp program, and then our airside taxiway and runways. Next slide, please. So the next slide here is capturing how we have been addressing internal transformation here at the airport. So as we are going out into the marketplace, as we are having our large firms come in, provide proposals and submit to us in terms of how they're going to approach their building, we're also asking them in-depth questions about how they're going to address inclusivity. So there are specific XBE participation requirements that are embedded. We're asking them to have a mentor protege program. So for each of you that are on the call, that's another opportunity for you as a small business to be involved. You have the opportunity to be included in something like that. Also prompt payment, we're really making sure that they're very clear about what the requirements are and the expectations for that. And capacity building, we're asking them, how are you going to help large, small, medium-sized, small businesses grow? If they're going to be working on their project, how are they going to build their capacity? Now, LAWA also has a higher LAX program. This is an apprenticeship readiness program that really gets individuals that wouldn't normally be part of the industry to become prepared and ready to enter an apprenticeship readiness program. And there are specific requirements for how many of those graduates that they will hire. And for those of you that are also on the call, these graduates graduate with a number of certifications that are important, and they already have that. They're very dedicated. They go through a rigorous vetting process. So these candidates also, this is another opportunity for you that if you're thinking about hiring first-term apprentices, this is another avenue for you to hire some local residents. And then if you're going to work on our projects, you have to know that we do have a project labor agreement with specific requirements for hiring local workers, both the number of individuals as well as the hours worked. We're also asking our industry partners to have an internship program and to have interns. And then we have a very active youth program ourselves. And then we're asking our industry partners to also take on their own initiatives. So over the last 2 years, we've already reached, just through LAWA's program, which we reach out to our industry partners to include, we've already reached close to 6,000 young students across Los Angeles. Next slide, please. So as we are now pivot to workforce, this slide covers how we have addressed the local workers. So you can see to the right that we are very close to reaching 100,000 workers that are local that have worked on our projects. And then to the left is the number of hours. So this is an economic impact as far as our local labor workforce. Now, the next slide is what we currently have right now for contracting opportunities that are available. And I want to invite you to contact me if you're interested in any of these projects, and I can provide information and also make an introduction. Now, the last line there indicates various MATOC projects. So this is where, again, this is another transformational approach that LAWA has taken, and we will go into more depth in the subsequent slides. So next slide, please. So this slide covers the 31 firms that have been awarded a construction design build contract. So LAWA has this program, which is essentially these 31 firms now were each awarded a contract for the total pool of dollars at $5 billion. And so as you can see here, we have large, medium, and small. So we're very excited to be having the small, medium categories in particular, because this is really giving some firms the opportunity to participate at a prime level that they wouldn't otherwise. So the next slide here covers, again, some additional detail about this pool of vendors. So of the 31 small, medium, and large private contractors that are going to be building projects, again, getting ready for the 2028 Olympics, they're all in these 4 different categories of horizontal projects, vertical projects, construction, and design build. Now, the next slide, again, and we're just going to keep going a little bit deeper into the details here. We have created a specific web page dedicated to the construction design build MATOC. And so you will have the opportunity to do a deeper dive. You're going to see which projects are coming up against under this project schedule. So I strongly invite you to go to this QR code under task orders. You're going to see of those 31 small, medium, large primes, which of them have actually been awarded a contract, or which of them are in the process of being evaluated to be in this limited pool to be awarded a contract. You're going to see that. And then you also will have an opportunity to see the MATOC contractors, where they fall into different categories. And then lastly here, you can register to be able to stay informed. So as updates are made to the MATOC webpage, which they are right now on a cadence about every couple of weeks or so, then you'll automatically get a notification. So again, I strongly encourage you to go to this QR code, get on there. And now this next slide, I'm going to show you some details within the MATOC webpage. So this is here an example of what you're going to find. So under that vertical construction category, you can see these are the firms that were awarded a contract. So this is essentially the pool of who is eligible to bid. And you can see we have a nice mix. We have large firms, we have medium firms, and then we have small firms. Now the next slide is going to show you the result and some of the outcomes. So as you can see here, there are a number of firms that have already been awarded a contract. So what's exciting is if you look at the T5 enabling component project, for example, Premier Interior Development, that's a small prime that was awarded a contract. We have TEC, another small prime, Premier Interior, another, Technion, Mata. So you can see that of the existing contracts that have been awarded, a large amount of these existing awards have been awarded to small primes. So what's coming up here is above, and you can see the small pools. So looking at this, you'll be able to see, for example, you have T5, Hensel Phelps, 1.2 billion, they were awarded. And if you went to the previous slide, you can see who is the specific contact for that. Now, all of the firms that are listed there in the categories, there's a small business contact. So that individual has made a commitment to LAWA that they're going to respond to small businesses. So you'll know that you're actually reaching out to someone that's going to get back to you. You don't have to try and figure out who that individual is. So it's been very important to us to make sure that you have visibility and clear access to the upcoming opportunities. Next slide, please. So this last slide here really is my contact information. Again, I invite you to reach out to me to provide additional information as far as the MATOC, but also I also have additional resources for you as a small business in other ways that can support your business growth and capacity. And then the QR code here to the right is really getting access to our network internally here as part of the economic impact team. So as we have industry events and other things coming up, we'll make sure to include you and make you aware of that. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Christy.
Sophia, thank you so much. Thank you for always supporting the program and for offering your support. If you guys would like to connect with Sophia, please do reach out and pursue these great opportunities. Okay, so we are getting close to the end. Before we go over to the Q&A portion, we have a short recorded testimonial from one of our CDABP contractors, and I'll just briefly share that when I put this testimonial up, when we were getting ready to start today, Rosa on our team said that this was one of her contractors And she just saw her this morning because she's working on a new contract. So that was great to hear. So this is Rita Ferguson of G&F Concrete Cutting.
My name is Rita Ferguson. I'm the president of G&F Concrete Cutting. It's a 38-year-old company, actually going on 39 years. We are specialty contractors. Recently, we were awarded a contract on a project called the Rosa Parks Willowbrook project. It was a community center. We inquired as to what the contract bonding program was with Metro at the time. And it turned out that it was very beneficial for us. It allowed were able to give us a $250,000 collateral bond, and that, in essence, enabled us to continue on with the project. Otherwise, we probably would not have been able to. This program was critical to G&F taking its next step in growing. G&F can take advantage of this program by utilizing more bonding capacity. For instance, we are going to be able to bid jobs, more jobs, and bigger jobs, knowing that there's a resource that we can go to if we are fortunate to be awarded the project. So I think the program, most importantly, helped G&F grow in a different direction and broaden our capacity, our services, as well as it taught our staff what is required to play with the big guys. We've always been in a very small little niche. And so when you act as a mini GC, you have to learn how to process paperwork correctly. You have to learn this new method of showing and being more transparent as for your financials, for example. So the program, again, helped us grow. It was such a learning and a positive experience. So I think that's the main takeaway for us.
Wonderful. Okay, so now we have finally reached our Q&A segment. And at this time, I will turn it over to our dedicated account manager, Johanna Lee Penn, who will read off any questions that you may enter into the chat for our speakers today. So go ahead and enter your questions into the chat. Please indicate who they're for, and I'll ask the speakers to please turn on their cameras and unmute themselves so that attendees can see you and direct their questions towards you. So with that, I'll turn it over to Johanna.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. So the first question on that's unanswered right now is my company is a vendor currently supplying the DWP with ergonomic office chairs. I'm trying to contact the other departments like the LAWA and Public Works and any other city department that would need new office chairs for each employee. So that's actually more of a comment, but I'll move on to the next one. We've been trying to be a part of any project LAWA for over 20 years. We are a certified LSBE, LBE, and SBE with the City of Los Angeles. The same GCs get projects and they use the same subs. How can a new sub get any opportunities at LAWA?
Thank you for your question. And this is Sophia Cavalli, and I apologize, I can't turn on my camera because it's not working today. With that said, great question. And again, per my presentation with the Maytalk construction webpage, you can see, for example, there were small and medium primes. Many of those firms are new firms to doing business with LAWA. So I strongly invite you to reach out to those firms. Again, if you go to that webpage, you can specifically see who's the point of contact for those firms. Second to that, we do partner with Merriweather and Williams. We do have different events that we have on an ongoing basis where we have prime contractors and subcontractors coming together as part of larger events. So I understand that that's a long time to not have a contract with LAWA throughout, 2 decades. So I can completely understand. So the other thing I would invite you to do is, you've got my contact information, and I would invite you to personally reach out to me and I can have a conversation with you about that as well. But again, the visibility and the insight into specific firms and specific opportunities that are coming up as related to the MATOC, I would strongly invite you to reach out to those firms.
Thank you. The next question is, to be recognized as a small business to work with LADWP, is it sufficient to have SB certificate either from the state of California or the Federal Office of Small Businesses?
Hi, so I'm just gonna make some assumptions. When you say state of California, I'm assuming that you're talking about the Department of General Services. We do accept that certification, and I think what you're referring to, the federal one, the 8A certification, we accept that one. But the best way to make sure when you are ready to bid, in the bid documents, we'll have a list of the official recognized certifications. So you want to check that list first. I don't have that on me right now at the moment, but yeah, I mean, barring any assumptions and things like that, yeah, we should accept both of those, yeah.
Thank you. Next question, are there any projects that require security guard services, unarmed, armed, or patrolling services? We'll go back
I
to,
mean, I can take this one again. I
Okay,
have
thank you.
seen subcontracting for security guard services in the past in our construction contracts, especially, if they have a lot of equipment that they're storing overnight, things of that nature. So yes, there are projects that require security guard services for our construction contracts. We have an overarching kind of a general security services contract that unfortunately has already been awarded. I can't remember exactly when it was awarded. It was either last year or the year before, but those contracts usually run about 3 to 5 years. So you want to check back maybe next year or 2 years after that, once that one is refreshed, so you can maybe take part in that, the next opportunity for that contract.
Thank you.
At LAWA, I again would invite whoever asked that question to go to the MATOC page and target some of the larger awards. So for example, the T5 award, that $1.2 billion project, it's highly likely that they're going to be in need for some security on that project. So I would just encourage you to reach out to those individual primes and ask the question, pose the question, do you have any needs for security on this project or others?
Thank you. Next question, how may I contact Jason Kim of LADWP? The file path listed during Jason's segment for self-registering with LADWP was not legible. Thanks.
Yeah, that's partially my fault. But the link for self-registering with our marketplace portal, ERSP, it's ERSP@LADWP.com. That's where you can self-register. Hope that helped.
Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
question,
Yes.
as a vendor supplier providing dumpsters, bin, and portable toilets, how can our company properly submit our provided service information to be considered, reviewed, register with LAWA, RAMP, Sophia Carvelli?
Yeah, so I think that absolutely registering with RAMP. LAWA also has their own portal, if you will, that's specific just to LAWA. So right now we're on RAMP LA, migrating to a different platform of Bonfire. So please send me an email and I'll send you that link. And then we also have an 18-month look ahead that I can send over to you as well.
Thank you. Next question or statement, we have reached out to all of them and have had but have had not one response from any firm on the MATOC list. I brought this up with Victoria Soto in February and nothing changes. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yes. So can I please have that person send an email to me or call me, and then I can
Okay.
certainly follow up with you on that and follow up with some of the contractors that haven't responded to you. So I'll say that that's concerning, and I apologize that you have not heard back. So let's have a conversation about that.
Okay, thank you. Next questions. Hi, we are IT solutions and services vendor. We would love to work with the agencies attending today. We are looking at how to be preferred vendors and would like to know more. Also, beyond today's forum, is there an opportunity to schedule a one-on-one introduction, like a 30 minutes capability briefing with your procurement leadership team so that we can showcase how our capabilities align with your upcoming needs? And then I'll move on to the next one. We are a MO tool, equipment and expendables supplier who actively support the LADWP. We would like to know if the port of LA and LAX/LAWA buys goods, or if the procurement efforts are strictly service-based / construction bids. Next, what about opportunities for uniforms, office supplies, logos, safety gear? And then moving down, we are a manufacturer of footwear, shoes, boots, etc., handbags / carrier bags, purses, duffels, backpacks, etc. Okay.
Johanna, I'll say we probably have time for one more question if you
Okay. So let me look at the okay, the next question would be, which portal should I register in to see all LAWA solicitations? Do you post everything through RAMP and a LAWA vendor list? And where is the current forecast? Who can confirm my commodity quotes are mapped correctly?
Okay, so the first part to that question is LAWA currently has some things on RAMP LA, and then we are in the process of migrating fully to Bonfire. So to be able to access all opportunities for LAWA, I invite you to register on both platforms. And so you can go ahead and send me an email, and I'll send you some additional information, or give me a call and I can send you a follow-up email. So either way, reach out, but it's important to be on both platforms at this time.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Johanna. Am I muted? No, I'm not. Okay. So if we weren't able to get to your question, you can reach out to us at IMWIS-info, and we would be happy to help. And I'm going to switch over to the next slide while I sort of wrap it up, just because I want you all to have an opportunity to see the flyer and QR code for our next outreach workshop. It is on October 9th at 3:30. With Councilmember John Lee of the 12th District. So we hope that you can join us. Please go ahead and register. And I'll say also very importantly, if you're not yet registered in the program, we have so much to offer at no cost to you. So we hope that you will register and take advantage of the program, or at least reach out to us and inquire more. And if you are a participant in the program, thanks for joining. And we hope that you can make the most of the information today and every support offering that we have. So thank you for joining.